Imagine standing face to face with a warrior who can read your every move, someone who wields not just a sword, but centuries of wisdom, discipline, and a code of honor stronger than steel. Now ask yourself this: who were these warriors? A man who fought over 60 duels and never lost. A woman who charged into battle, defying tradition. A warlord who sought to conquer all of Japan with fire and iron. Each of their stories is a puzzle, a glimpse into a world of loyalty, betrayal, and ambition. Today, we unlock the stories of Japan's most legendary samurai. Warriors whose lives were a blend of honor, strategy, and mystery. Imagine a man who stepped onto the battlefield over 60 times and never tasted defeat. A warrior so skilled, so methodical, that his name has become synonymous with invincibility. This is Miyamoto Musashi. But Musashi wasn't just a swordsman. He was a thinker, a philosopher, and a revolutionary. He wielded not only steel, but also strategy, creating the legendary two-sword technique that changed the art of combat forever. In his later years, Musashi turned his insights into a timeless masterpiece. The Book of Five Rings, a guide not just for warriors, but for anyone seeking mastery in life itself. Musashi lived a life of solitude, seeking not fame or fortune, but perfection in his craft. He embraced hardship, trained relentlessly, and confronted death more times than most could imagine, all to become the ultimate warrior. In an age when battlefields were ruled by men, one woman shattered all expectations and carved her name into history. Her name was Tomo Gozen. A warrior of the late Heian period, Tomo Gozen stood out not just because of her gender, but because of her unmatched skill. She was a master of the naginata, an expert archer, and a strategist who could rival the greatest samurai of her time. Her courage and strength were legendary. Surrounded by enemies, Tomo didn't retreat. Instead, she charged into the fray, taking down some of the most skilled warriors of her era. Her story is wrapped in both history and legend, and while some details remain a mystery, her impact is undeniable. She challenged the norms of her time and became a timeless figure of inspiration. In the realm of the samurai, one name strikes fear not with brute force, but with silence and shadows. Hattori Hanzo, more than a warrior, more than a myth. A master of stealth, strategy, and survival. Unlike other samurai who sought honor on the battlefield, Hanzo's brilliance lay in operating from the shadows. He was a samurai who embraced the ways of the ninja, a hybrid of warrior and spy who mastered both the sword and subterfuge. But Hanzo wasn't just a warrior. He was a leader, commanding the famed Hattori Ninja clan, a group of elite spies and assassins. Legend says Hanzo's skills bordered on the supernatural. Tales tell of him disappearing into thin air, crossing rivers on leaves, and predicting the moves of his enemies with uncanny precision. Whether truth or myth, these stories only added to his mystique. In a land of rigid tradition, where samurai were born of Japanese bloodlines, one man shattered all expectations. His name was Yasuke, a man from distant lands who rose to become a samurai in the service of one of Japan's greatest warlords. Originally from the African continent, Yasuke arrived in Japan around 1579, brought by Jesuit missionaries. Standing over 6 feet tall with a powerful physique and a complexion unlike anything most Japanese had ever seen, he quickly became a subject of fascination. Impressed by his strength, intelligence, and loyalty, Nobunaga, the ambitious and unorthodox daimyo, made Yasuke a samurai, an honor few foreigners had ever achieved. He became a trusted retainer of Nobunaga, standing by his side in some of the most pivotal moments in Japanese history. After Nobunaga's death, Yasuke's story fades into mystery. Some say he was spared due to his foreign status and returned to missionary life. Others believe he vanished, leaving behind only whispers of his extraordinary journey. They called him the Invincible Samurai, a warrior who walked through battlefields unscathed, his armor untouched by blade or arrow. His name was Tadakatsu Honda. He fought in over 55 battles and never suffered a single wound. Some said it was skill, others believed it was fate, or perhaps something more. His weapon, the legendary Tonbogiri, was said to be so sharp it could slice a dragonfly in mid-air without disturbing its wings. To face him was not just to risk defeat, it was to face a man who seemed untouchable, protected by something beyond mortal comprehension. Tadakatsu's presence alone inspired armies to fight harder, to believe in the impossible. To this day, Tadakatsu Honda is remembered not for the lives he took, but for the legacy he left. He was a man of legend, a warrior whose strength could shake mountains, and whose loyalty would stand the test of time. His name was Benkei, the warrior monk. Born in the shadow of temples, Benkei was unlike any other monk. Towering and fearsome, he abandoned the quiet life of prayer for the thrill of combat, becoming a bridge guardian who challenged every samurai that crossed his path. He fought 999 duels and won them all, collecting the swords of his defeated opponents. But on his 1000th duel, Benkei met his match in a young warrior named Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Defeated for the first time, Benkei did the unthinkable. He pledged his life to serve Yoshitsune, becoming his most loyal retainer and protector. At the end, Benkei's loyalty reached mythical proportions. As Yoshitsune took his own life, Benkei stood firm on the bridge, holding back an entire army. Legend says he died standing, his body pierced by countless arrows, his spirit unyielding. In a time of change, when the samurai way faced extinction, one man rose to embody the spirit of his people. His name was Saigo Takamori, the last samurai. Born into a samurai family in 1828, Saigo grew up during a time of upheaval. The winds of modernization threatened to erase the traditions his people held sacred. But Saigo wasn't just a warrior. He was a man of honor and principle, willing to fight for what he believed in. Saigo fought to overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate and usher in a new era. But victory came at a cost. The same government he helped create began dismantling the samurai class, stripping them of their identity and purpose. At Shiroyama, Saigo made his final stand. Armed with swords and honor against guns and cannons, he led his men in a battle they could not win, choosing death over surrender. For Saigo, it wasn't about victory. It was about preserving the dignity of the samurai spirit. Today, Saigo Takamori is remembered not just as a warrior, but as a bridge between Japan's past and future. The last samurai who fought to preserve the soul of a nation. These are the samurai whose stories have transcended time. They lived in an era of conflict and change, yet their names echo through history, inspiring us to face our own battles with the same unwavering resolve. Though the age of the samurai has passed, their spirit remains, woven into the fabric of Japan's culture and the hearts of those who admire their unyielding resolve.